we talked kind of at a high level about the new partnership, among other things. But first, can you tell us your role at CMX and what you do?
Yes, so I run strategy and partnerships for the organization. I've been there for about a year and a half. And my background is much more publisher side of media. So for me, the last year and a half has been an incredible education in retail.
Mm-hmm. And so I'm assuming that you helped broker this deal that we just talked about.
We've got a lot of people working on this one for a while, so we're very excited to announce it today.
So you've actually built partnerships across media and tech companies like AccuWeather, Ad Marketplace, as you said, on the publisher side. What makes a retail media partnership truly strategic versus just transactional? Because there's so many retail media deals that are happening.
Yes, and not to be too repetitive from the prior session, but I think the win-win-win that Parbs was talking about earlier with Mike at Reddit is really what we look for, because there's a lot that our goal is to really bring valuable information to our extra care consumers to help them make better decisions in their health and wellness journey. And we do that by finding where consumers are, where our brands want to meet their consumers as well. And that combination of our unique data set with either unique inventory, unique creatives, unique audiences, that's really where it all comes together.
I mean, there's 250 plus retail media networks, right? Like it's ensuring that you differentiate yourself in some way and that you are valuable to your partners, but also that your partners are valuable to you.
Yes. And I think there's a lot of ways that somebody is going to bring something to the table, whether it's tremendous scale, uniqueness, the community engagement on Reddit, for example, is a lot of the reason why that's so important. And in the 250 plus alleged commerce and media networks that are out there today, I think the way you set yourself apart is really with your data. And one of the strengths of our data set is our 90 million plus extra care users, which we spend a lot of time taking care of that data. We are very transparent with our users and consumers and buyers, just as we are with our suppliers and advertisers, right? When you sign up for extra care, you get a ton of value. And we're gonna bring you information to help you make better decisions, because you've given us that information. The program's been around for 20 years. The average tenure of our extra care users is about 10 to 11 years. So we've got a very rich, deep history of their buying behavior, their interests, and it's up to us to bring that to the table.
I think, you have this rich data, but you also are able to kind of track, we don't say track, right? You're also able to journey with, let's say, you're able to journey with the user across these different phases of their life. But it seems like kind of the purchase journey is so windy and so different now. What does it mean for CVS to meet customers where they are? You have this data, but how do you find them?
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge. I mean, I think the traditional kind of linear funnel that you think about, very vertical, is on its side or inverted or three-dimensional. I mean, users are finding information or making their way to whatever their communities are, their interests are, on connected TV, they're browsing the web, they have social channels. It's not a linear path. So we have very good data science teams working on how we construct audiences to make it a really bespoke experience for pretty much every campaign that we run for our suppliers. So identifying the users is a really critical piece of starting it, and then making sure we have collaborations with people like Reddit to meet those users where they're really engaged.
So I was dying to get into the weeds of this partnership. Hopefully we can with one question.
Okay.
This captures users at a high intent moment, for example, right? Like I'm looking for information about skincare. I'm looking for information about how to help my baby sleep or something like that. And then you allow them to convert directly to CVS. How does that actually work? How many pieces kind of had to be set up for the campaign to run, but then also for it to be measured?
It's a pretty deep tech stack, and it's a lot of technology partnerships and a lot of relationships with a lot of people along the way to make it all happen. But from, just the point of activation for us, again, it's that audience construction piece is really critical. We have technology partners with clean rooms, right? So that we can build an audience without exposing any personal information of any user. map it into a partner's platform like we're doing with Reddit so that we can link to and identify that user. We're not passing any sensitive information. And I think the round trip piece of it, again, was spoken about in the earlier panel. Most of the conversions that we have for CVS are in stores. We have got 9,000 stores across the U.S. Over 95% of the transactions that we have happen in our stores. So we are not really a powerful e-commerce player. So for us, because so many users find value in extra care, they swipe their card. Like 90% of the times they're making a purchase. So that way we have this closed loop attribution that we can come back and say, oh, here's this Redditor, they were interested in skincare products. We can actually go back and say to the skincare supplier and to Reddit, this is what, here's the user that was exposed, and this is the products they actually purchased. And that is the power of the retail media networks. Commerce media, if they don't have a retail leg, a little different, but still valuable, still have first-party data, which is really what people are looking for today.
Is that the alleged?
Kind of, yeah.
Drilling down into the measurement a little bit more, thank you for highlighting that. There's the sales that Kelly mentioned, but are there ways that you as a team measure the benefit of your strategic partnerships internally? Is it net new revenue? Is it exposure to new clients? Like how do you measure kind of the benefit of partnering with a Reddit?
It's interesting. As you were asking the question, I was thinking it's not unlike questions around, is retail and commerce media all about performance? It's mostly about performance, but it's also, you can do a lot of brand building. And a lot of the value in these collaborations and partnerships is not just that we're converting and we're selling products, but it's brand building for CMX, for our retail media network. It's brand building for our partners as well. We get to come to places like Cannes and talk about these awesome partnerships. That's worth a lot too.
When we had our prep call, we steered away from the word targeting, which is necessary in our industry. But you framed it as anonymity meets attribution, which I thought was really interesting. Can you talk through that distinction a little bit? How does Reddit's anonymous environment allow for the attribution you talked about, but still letting users be anonymous?
Yeah, and Mike talked about this in the earlier panel too, but it's definitely worth driving home because it was a bit of a, I talked to my partners on the Reddit side about this while we were working through the details. Like, I don't think I really get this. Like, what's happening? Because the whole point is we have the identity and we can map that back to an attributed sale. But I think Mike was talking about this before, is that the power of Reddit as a platform are these communities where I'm not Paul Lentz. I can be any kind of avatar.
PL1554.
There you go. I can be yeah, exactly. But you can do this in an anonymous way and talk about, have more candid conversations about things that interest you or are troubling you in a way that you're not going to on another platform where it's you are who you are. You probably wouldn't talk about that on LinkedIn, for example. But in that way, we have people in these candid moments where they're really talking about something. It's really the clean room technology that lets us link that anonymous participant, Redditor, with our known extra care user at CVS.
And then attribute the sale
Yeah.
on the back end. So looking ahead, I mean, I know this deal is fresh, but what emerging partnership opportunities excite you the most? Are there platforms or technologies that you're thinking about that could fundamentally change health and wellness advertising and the way that they connect with consumers?
Definitely.
Do you want to tell us?
Well, there are a lot of them. I mean, a lot of it for us is going from, where our network is going to be 5 years old this summer. And a lot of what we've done is just kind of built the groundwork and establish kind of the foundational building blocks of our retail media network. And now it's time to really scale and really build out. And there are a lot of technology partners who are participating in this whole arena, and really on every side of it, in building audiences, in distributing audiences, in clean room technology where you can map them to partners, back to measurement partners and attribution. There's dozens of partners who are in that. And so we just try to be incredibly thoughtful about why does this partnership, whether it's a technology collaboration or a publisher, what's the meaning? How is something more? It needs to be, for example, for a publisher partnership, which would I would consider what we're doing with Reddit. How is that more than just an audience extension? How is that? And to me, this is like a perfect example of the kind of strategic collaboration we're looking for. It's a very unique platform with a really deeply engaged audience where we have our audiences that we can meet there.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think we were here last year, actually, with PARBS, and one of the partnerships was TTD, I think, right? So to be able to activate the data programmatically, so you've got that. Now you have sort of different ad units on that front. Can the market sustain 250 plus retail media networks?
I think it probably can. I mean, as long as all these participants are bringing their unique piece of the pie, which is typically really great first-party data that they take very good care of, and they're reaching an audience that is meaningful to the suppliers that they're trying to meet, the advertisers out there. That's really important. And I think what's going to be interesting is for commerce media, which to me is just similar to retail media, but they're not selling products. Collaborating their collaborations with people like us who do sell the products, I think is probably going to be an interesting next era in the retail commerce media space.
So it's more collaborative, less competitive.
I hope so. I mean, look, I think this is the soapbox I get on every chance I get, which is I've been part of digital media and the publishing side for the last 2 decades, and I think traditional digital publishers lost a lot of ground to the walled gardens by fighting each other and really fighting for users and fighting for just not really collaborating enough because a news platform wants to win that user. There's no room for them. I think our expectation is people are not going to shop for every single product they want from CVS. We know that. But when they are in CVS, that's when we want you to buy the products that we have. And you're going to come back to our store. We have 9,000 of them. You're going to pass it on your way home from work. You're going to go pick up prescriptions. Just when you're in there, we're going to keep that product idea top of mind for you. So I think there's room for it, but I think you got to bring something unique with your audience set, and you have to find a way to differentiate there. And not every scale, not everyone's going to be able to scale to the size that we believe we can scale to, which we think there's a lot more headroom to grow on too. So
if last year it seemed like it was like the explosion of retail media networks, this year it seems like it's much more about differentiation. And it seems like what you're saying is the differentiation can't happen on its own in sort of in a silo. It seems like we'll see more and more partnerships like this if the market is going to kind of grow in the way that we think it is.
I agree. I think that's a perfect way to put it. And I think the other aspect that drives this kind of collaboration is there is so much technology. Right? You have to partner with so many different people to do a good job, to reach those consumers and measure what they're doing. So it is really all about the collaboration.
Do you want to tell us what your next partnership is going to be? Or no?
I think it'll come out eventually.
Thank you so much, Paul.
Thanks, Tameka. Appreciate it.